What's up, everybody? Let me check to make sure that my mic's working on every platform. Give me just one sec. Oh, I gotta throw my headphones on too. Can you guys hear me? Test 1 2 3. Can you guys hear me? Are you guys able to hear me? Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Hold on one sec. Let's see. Let's do this. Somebody try saying something real quick.
No.
Were you able to hear my music there for a second?
Yes.
All right, I can hear you now. You're able to hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Let me pull up the chat over on Twitter and YouTube, X and YouTube. Make sure that everybody can hear us over there. If you're on X or YouTube, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. You know, it's funny. I have been in a number of like Zoom calls and Meet, and I have to change my mic settings every single time. And so then when I jump back into these live streams, I always have to remember what the settings were, reset it. Give me just one sec to make sure that we're good to go over on like Twitter. I'll just pull it up on my phone real quick. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Perfect. Can one of you guys try talking just to make sure that it's going through my mixer okay? Everybody over there can hear you guys.
Hello.
Can one of you guys try talking just to make sure that... Perfect. Sound great. What's up, Evan, over on YouTube? Let me pause this over on my phone now. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Sorry about last night. You know, we've been super consistent doing these live streams every single Thursday, but I've just been working on a ton of code and building stuff in the Evrmore ecosystem, and then a bunch of other things too. So I needed to spend that time kind of wrapping up some code I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. So we'll see what the turnout's like tonight. We don't typically do this on a Friday, so if it's even better turnout, maybe we'll do it every Friday. All right. First things first. Here's what I'm thinking for these live streams going forward. Sometimes they end up lasting like, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours, but I think it's better if they're not redundant and I just kind of jump straight into the updates of the core code, kind of core dev discussions, and then the broader ecosystem and what I'm aware that everybody's working on, and then updates in terms of the peripherals and stuff that I'm working on. And then we'll open it up to kind of Q&A. If anybody has questions, always happy to answer those. But in keeping things short, I think that these probably shouldn't go over like a half an hour, 45 minutes at the most. And then that way, we don't end up with people kind of jumping in at the end, asking questions that have already been covered at the beginning. And then if they are curious about whatever it is that they're wanting to ask, they can just go back and watch what's already been recorded. So I'm just going to jump straight into Evrmore core code. So core devs had a meeting this week, yesterday, and as everyone knows, there are a number of things that are in development that are coming soon. Quick recap on those. So there's asset tolls, there's separation of some metadata parameters, and then there's an additional IPFS field. So you'll be able to add additional data to your transactions and assets. And then there's also a remint code for bridging. And all of that code had the final review yesterday. So everything's been tested on RegNet. The remint code is done. The asset toll code has been done for the last 2-3 weeks. And then we've been basically pushing to get everything on Testnet. And so I know each week I keep saying, hey, we're going to get it on Testnet, we're going to get it on Testnet. Well, we're finally getting it on Testnet instead of RegNet. So basically what we need to do is we need to pick a couple of parameters so that on Testnet, those that are mining it can activate this new upgrade and make it go live. And I've reached out to a number of people that mine Testnet, and we anticipate that this coming week we should have all of the new updates on Testnet. And then what we'd like the community to help us do is test all of these new features. And then the more people that we can get involved in testing all of these new features, the sooner we can get it on mainnet. And we'll need to do the same type of voting procedure in order to get it on mainnet. And so that will require the community kind of coming together and talking to all of the different pools and making them aware that there are all of these new updates that are coming, and we'll need to pick a particular date and a particular block where this voting will go live, and we'll probably just keep it at a 90% threshold. And so there are a number of things that we're going to be testing here over the next week on Testnet. And then, like I said, it'd be great if we can get a bunch of people helping out in that regard. And then also reaching out to pools and letting them know that, hey, there are some upgrades coming here real soon, and they'll need to be aware of that. And then once we've tested everything on Testnet, we'll then obviously get it on mainnet. And then once it's on mainnet, the core devs, including myself, will start working on additional new features. So basically the priority over the next few weeks is going to be testing and implementing on Testnet, mainnet, getting everything out there. In terms of the other things that people are working on, I know that the community has talked about getting on Upbit, and there were discussions about submitting an application. I'm not quite sure if that actually happened or not. I'm sure that there are people over here on Discord that can probably chime in as to whether or not that actually got submitted. Happy to give an update on it. And then jumping into the peripherals, the different things that I'm building in the ecosystem. So as many of you know, I've got Magic Wallet, got a number of updates coming soon there. We've been testing over the past couple of weeks the upcoming Magic Pool, which will basically give you the ability to add Satori pools inside of the wallet. And everything is going well there. And we anticipate that this coming week that will be released to the general public. And then about maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I reached out to a number of different pools that said that they were interested in also being on Magic, so that people will be able to join their pools as well. And I'll start to reach back out to those that said that they were interested. And we'll start working with them to get them integrated onto the Magic Wallet. In addition to that, I also have a new bridge company called Bridge, and it will take advantage of this new remint code, and we will participate in testing on Testnet once that core code goes live there. And then as soon as that activates on mainnet, of course, we'll make that available to the general public to start using. And we'll put out an announcement once that's ready for the general public. And the plan is to have my company Magic work with my other company Bridge in integrating this new remint and bridging feature directly inside the Magic wallet. And Bridge will also be working with some of the Satori core devs, and will be implementing this bridge ability directly inside of the Satori client. And so those are things that will be coming here shortly once the remint code goes live on Evrmore Core. In addition to that, on the Magic Wallet side, we've got a number of other updates that we've been working on for a while. But as you guys know, it's important that we just focus on implementing one and getting it out to the public before kind of working on all these other different features and releasing things that are half-baked. So once we get pools out this coming week, we'll then be putting out our Chrome extension that we've worked on for a long, long time. I should pivot just real quick back to the kind of Evrmore core code. There are also a number of like other small updates that I suppose I forgot to give. We have been working on building a kind of a new, more professional website for Evrmore. And so that will be coming soon. There are a few pull requests that have been submitted that I need to go and review. And so that'll probably take place over the next like week or two as I get to those pull requests. So expect a much better website going forward. And then there are a number of parameters as a part of these new updates that, well, maybe not parameters. They're basically just a number of new RPC calls that you'll be able to make. And maybe in like next week's live stream or once everything goes live on Testnet, might be kind of cool to screen share and kind of show, hey, here are the new RPC calls, and here's how devs will be able to kind of jump in and get some of this new information, and how you'll structure like some of these new transactions and be able to tap into some of these new features. But anyways, with that, those are pretty much the updates that I'm aware of. If anybody else has an update or wants to talk about things they're working on, feel free to jump in. Check the chat over here on Discord. Ever been around here? When a change like this happens, we'll have to download a new version of the wallet. Basically, we'll put out like new code, new binaries, new code that you'll be able to download over on GitHub. So most of this is like backwards compatible, but you'll definitely want to just download the new version of the Evrmore node software that you're running. It'll be simple. And in fact, if anybody wants, I can create like a short little video that just shows how to do it. Like, hey, here, if you're running a node, here's what you need to do. But it's pretty straightforward. Just go over to GitHub, download the new stuff. You should be good to go. Anybody got updates? Anybody got questions? Happy to answer them. Happy to let anybody else jump in, kind of talk about what they're working on or updates or whatever.
I guess I got some questions
Let's
as
do it.
usual. So you were talking about wanting to keep the weekly discussions a little shorter, you know? Um, is it too much time if you just made like a weekly update video that's just you giving the update? That way you can, you know, do very concise and there's no jumping in, and then have a separate video for like a community discussion. I don't know if that would be too much to have two different things, but you'd be able to chop it and edit it and go back and maybe re-say something if you wanted to say it differently or whatever, and then post that separately.
Yeah, we might be able to do that. I mean, I guess I'm just for selfish reasons wanting to keep it shorter because there's there are so many things that are being built that I my preference is to basically hit the people with what they need and then get back to the code.
Oh, that's no problem. I didn't know if it was just like a just didn't want anybody interrupting while you're giving updates, kind of like, a professor trying to lecture and
For sure.
people are interrupting type
Does
thing.
that feel
It's
awkward?
no big deal. Does it feel awkward?
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
You just stare at them. You just stare at them and wait and be like, "You're paying to be here, man. So
Yeah,
whatever."
I see. Humble Miner in the
Um.
chat saying, "Hey, let's have longer ones after it's all built." Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying that like everyone has to be short.
So for the DApp store, will app devs, like current app devs for whatever ecosystem they're on, will they be able to easily containerize their apps in Docker? And then also, will there be like a way for them to do um, free and paid apps that utilize in-app purchases from the wallet? So like, they can have like, let's say they wanted to put Candy Crush in the DApp store, right? Would they be able to do that and pull off the balance of the wallet?
Yeah. So let's hit the first question first, and then I'll hit the second one. So first question,
Right.
basically, hey, if people already have apps that they've built, will it be easy for them to integrate into something like this? And unfortunately, the answer there is, well, it depends. Depends on what they've built, how they've built it, where it's been built. We certainly want to make it as easy as possible for them to integrate. And so as we get closer to that, we can have some discussions surrounding how to make that as easy as possible. And then to your second question, will they be able to tap directly into the wallet and have that as a part of their game? And the answer is absolutely yes. And that is one of the things that makes this great, right? You want the devs that are building these different apps, and in this case, a game, to focus on the thing that they do best, right? Which is building the game while making it super simple for them to tap into the wallet as well as the underlying peer-to-peer code. And so that'll be simply provided as an API as a part of this like DApp Store software. And so you'll be able to have like in-app purchases, and they'll just tap directly into that API wallet code.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. Because I was thinking about that because I saw on the cryptocurrency subreddit that people were talking about like games on the blockchain. There was they just posted this big long thing about it, not sure how it could actually work. Um, and this would be like a good example where I could be like, hey, go get the Magic Wallet or the DApp store that runs on EVR, and you could look. There's a free game in there that you can download, and you can play right now, and it's on a blockchain. So, I mean, that would be pretty cool. Like if there was just like a basic game sitting in there when you download it, that way we can push it and be like, well, yeah, there's already a game sitting on a blockchain. Here's Tetris or whatever, like the old school Tetris version, kind of emulated on there. Be like, here you go, you can go play this right now, right, as you're sitting where you are. So it'd be a cool response to have in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm actually really, really excited for this DApp Store concept. Um, we've started doing research on developing the desktop version of Magic, and we're fleshing out some of the details. I'm confident that we'll definitely have this dApp store concept in this year. Like, it will come to fruition. It'll be pretty cool. I think that there are a number of different blockchains that are out there that have tried kind of this gaming stuff. It's mainly like browser based. They can't really hit the underlying compute of the computer, whereas in this case they'll be able to because it's a desktop app. And then of course it doesn't have to be a game. It can be like anything that they're wanting to containerize. So something like a Satori, something like a game, distributed storage, just any type of distributed compute, kind of just whatever devs dream up. We just want to make it super easy for them to containerize it and then tap into the underlying API. And I think that people will build like a lot of really, really cool things. And it'll be slick. You'll be able to just double tap and kind of launch the game and then play it directly inside there.
So like the one that would live on like a handheld device, let's say like it's sitting in iOS, would they be able to tap into all the hardware so they could see like, they can tap into like the accelerometer, the GPS coordinates, and all that stuff, so they can do like navigation in a dApp if they wanted to? I don't know why they would or whatever, but would that be a possibility?
Can you say the iOS thing again? I didn't quite catch that.
So like they have this wallet or the dApp store is sitting on their iOS device, right? Would they be able to tap into the underlying hardware, like the accelerometer, GPS, stuff like that, if they wanted to make like a navigation tool or something?
Oh, that's interesting. The way that I've envisioned this is that it's just a desktop app. I didn't think of
okay.
I didn't think of it as running on an iOS device or like a phone. But I suppose we could implement the dApp store directly inside of like the Magic mobile wallet as well. That might be a bit more challenging, or it might have to be device specific. So it's not clear to me in the moment whether or not you'd be able to launch and then like containerize on a phone. You might be able to, but then it'd probably have to be like mobile specific type dApps, and you wouldn't be able to run anything that requires a desktop.
Oh, okay. So you basically would be doing like, if it was running on iOS device, you'd basically have to code it up, port it for iOS, and then not just where you can drop anything into a container and it run on any desktop OS, but here you're gonna have to be iOS or OS specific for the mobile device.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. In the beginning, it'll just be desktop. So Linux, Mac, Windows.
Because I was thinking of a thing where like there's like a navigation tool and you show up and then you get there and you pay to get in somewhere and you just pay right there through the app and it'll like pop up a QR code and you can just scan it and get in off your phone or something. It's just, I don't know. It was just something to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
But I have one more question that I wrote down for this week.
Okay.
So you've mentioned the international entity for bridging. So what is, and you may have said this and I just missed it, but I'm curious why you need an international entity for this bridging setup. Like, why does it have to be an international entity? And what is this? Is like a company? Is this allow you to get around certain, I don't know, standards in certain countries, or like what's the purpose of an international entity over just a, I guess, domestic based one?
Yeah, so basically there are two different components. There is the underlying like Evrmore core code, which is the remint code. And then anyone can create a bridging company and take advantage of this new code. And I hope that they do. I think competition rises all boats. But for now, because I don't know of anybody else that's doing that, I decided to do it myself. And I know that there are a number of guys over on the Satori side that are wanting the ability to bridge from EVR over to ETH. And so because the new core code is going to be there, and because I think that there definitely is demand for something like this service, I have set up this entity to do it. Could I have set it up inside the United States? Yeah, for sure. I just made the personal call to set it up outside the United States, but
Okay.
certainly someone could set it up inside the U.S. I'm sure we'll probably see that, right? So as the new core code goes live and people start to use my company Burnbridge, I imagine that there'll be a number of companies that will pop up over the coming like 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. And
Okay.
I'm sure some of them will be domestic and some will probably be international.
Okay. I didn't know if it had something to do with like, I can't get on CoinX because of my location. So I didn't know if it had to do with like where something's coming from. That's the reason why it's international, or if it was personal choice. But
Nah,
as you
just a
explained, it's
personal
just a
choice.
personal choice.
The thing
Okay.
is,
Cool.
it's all OFAC compliant and all of that stuff, and
Okay.
so, yeah. I mean, the Magic Wallet company, which is also a non-custodial company that I own, it's a domestic company. So yeah, just personal preference.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Mhm.
Hey, I got a quick question about the magic pooling option. So if you're a pool operator and you create a pool that gets put into your drop list, is that pool operator then responsible for keeping up with neurons to satisfy the demand of their pool? Or does the pool operator have a way to pause accepting new Satori and unpause it as well?
Yeah, so two things there. Um, Over the next 2 weeks, as I reach out to the different pool operators, we'll go over what the different parameters are inside of Magic, and then the different requirements in order to implement it. And I anticipate it will require like a couple of changes for the existing pool operator devs to make. And I I know that there are really, well, there'll basically be two different ways to do it. Inside of Satori right now, there's a way where you can say like, "Hey, my pool's closed," um, and I anticipate that what we'll do is we'll look at that inside of Magic, so that way, if your pool has been turned off for accepting new, like stake to be lent to it, it will still show up in the app, but we'll like gray it out so that people can't join it. And then if people don't want to use that mechanism, we can also implement another way where they can simply turn it off just programmatically, so that way when we hit the API, it's just like, hey, I'm not accepting anybody at the moment, gray me out. So that way you're not just having people like randomly join your pool.
Cool. That's it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. What else you guys got? Nothing in the chat. Everybody's tired. It's Friday.
We finally got the Electrum stuff all figured out. Well, I know I did, and then I guess Caspot got his stuff figured out too, and Hans was helping us, so
Oh,
that
hell
was
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I saw that. You're running that now on Ubuntu 24.
Yeah, and it's like the issues I had was because distutils is deprecated in Python 3.12, so I had to use setup tools, and then it's what came with the VPS. So the VPS is $10 a month for unlimited, bandwidth and 1 gig speed, and that's 4 cores and 8 gigs of RAM and 240 gigs of storage. So that's a good deal from everything else I've seen, and it's working fine. So it all works now.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you guys were able to get that working. I saw that earlier today. What was Han saying? I saw that he popped in there, but I didn't get a chance to kind of see what he said.
There was an issue that I think CashBot had, back in, I think it was October, because I read back when he replied to it that there was an issue with discovery. So the nodes weren't discovering each other. But if you manually put it into your Electrum wallet to go find that one, it would pick it up. So he did some stuff on his end, and we all restarted our stuff, and then finally everything's discovering everything, and it's a happy hippie family. So
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's sweet. You know,
yeah.
and there's so many people that are using Electrum that it really has become a super, super important piece of the ecosystem.
It definitely got busier. I was watching the journal on it just to kind of see how it changed from not being discoverable to now it's discoverable, and it definitely got a lot more busy. So it's humming all day and night, 24/7.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, um, I guess I didn't really touch on the Magic backend. So I'm writing a new Magic backend, um, temporarily on pause while we get the rest of this stuff finally out and released. Um, but it does use Electrum underlying it. So just another thing in the ecosystem that's going to rely on Electrum.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if there was a way to support the magic stuff by running something as well, but since I guess it runs with Electrum, I guess we're automatically supporting magic by running Electrum, the Electrum node.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, exactly. And then
Okay.
we can also make it so that people can kind of spin up and connect to their own Electrum. We had that originally in the previous wallet that we built, Moontree, where people could kind of spin up and run their own. So if they didn't want to talk to our backend servers, they didn't have to. But
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. I followed the instructions on GitHub. I think the other issue is that it wasn't compiling Everhash with Make. I had to switch over and use CMake, but it was me just trying to read through all of the errors that were spitting out on the console and everything, and just going through each one at a time until I finally hit one that made everything disappear, and it worked. So
hell yeah.
it's all good. It's working with the latest stuff, so I like that as well. Don't have to keep old versions of stuff.
I know that a number of people had run into a bunch of those problems, so it's great to now have it kind of fixed and working. Oh, and by the way,
Yeah.
there is another small update. It's really small. I don't know that it's worth mentioning, but hey, um, inside of the GUI of Electrum, so like the user interface that a bunch of people are using, I submitted a pull request to Hans. I fixed it so that there's no longer any Ravencoin icons and any of that stuff in there. So going forward, it should have all of the Evrmore stuff.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I did speak with him earlier in the chat about that issue with getting the EVR off the Trezor.
Oh
And
yeah.
he said that it's just he might have to bring someone else on to start working on the hardware wallet stuff, because he's got too much stuff going on. So it's not a big deal. I only put 2 EVR on there. I mean, if it never gets fixed, it's really not a big deal, unless EVR does a Bitcoin and hits 100,000. Then I might start asking some questions. So, but for now, everything's cool, and just I would tell everyone not to try to use it with the Trezor because it's not compatible yet. So I just store my wallet file on a encrypted flash drive, or a password protected flash drive, and encrypt the wallet file. So it's basically the same thing. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know Hans is super busy at the moment with reviewing all of the new code and like dotting our I's, crossing our T's. Um,
yeah, all that
so
stuff is definitely more important for sure.
yeah, maybe we'll get to it at some point. If we don't, hit me up for the 2 EVR. I'll give them to you.
Well, if it hits $100,000
Well,
per
then don't hit me
EVR,
up.
then I'll be.
In that case, don't
Okay.
call me.
All right, only if it's cheap.
Yeah.
Got it.
Let's see. Kink here in the chat saying, "Hey, should update the core wallet price tracker with the next update too." I think that was pulling Raven data from the Binance API. Oh hell yeah, yeah. We could switch that over. I'll take a look at that. I'm pretty swamped over the weekend with a bunch of stuff that I gotta code up, but sometime over the next week, I'll take a look at that and switch it over. Hitting a new API should be fairly straightforward. Yeah, should be a quick fix. Yeah. No, I'll pull the code. I'll just do a quick search. I'll have Cursor help me find out where it's at, and we'll just point it towards the CoinEx API, so that way we're not pulling like Raven data. You know, with all of these new updates and new features coming, we definitely just want to strip out anything that we've used in the past that's Raven specific and still has like Raven icons, Raven API, any of that stuff. So it makes sense that we would update that. So I'll take a look at it. We'll get it done.
Are you talking about the price conversion in the core wallet?
Yeah, there's just a part in there that hits the API to grab price data, but currently it's. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, is there one for the Electrum wallet as well? Because I'm looking at my Electrum wallet and it doesn't have, like, I know in the Raven one there was like a parentheses and it would show the price in USD, but currently for EVR there's no price in USD. I don't know if I have to turn that on. I was trying to look for it earlier, but I didn't see anything.
Specifically in Electrum.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it.
The Electrum wallet, the asset tab actually has a Raven thumbnail on it.
I submitted a pull request that fixes that. I fixed that this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry if I didn't hear if you said that.
No, you're totally good. Yeah. No, it's all good. Yeah, I jumped in there. I was playing with it this week, so I was like, let me hurry and just submit a pull request. So I went through and stripped out all of the Raven icons. So in the new update, whenever we put that out, it will no longer have that stuff.
I had a quick question regarding API.
Yeah, let's do it.
I noticed on CoinGecko that the circulating supply isn't on there. I don't know if somebody's asked you about that before, but I noticed it doesn't have a market cap number and the supply is missing.
Yeah, CoinGecko is kind of funny. I've submitted a number of times, and there are a bunch of other people in the community that have submitted to update that data. I think we just need to do it again. We just need to submit it. You know, really what it should do is it should use like all of the CoinEx data as like the main source of information. I think previously it was using like the ZegX stuff, and then we also need to I guess just resubmit an update for the circulating supply and that type of stuff. So yeah, we'll see. I like I said, I've submitted it a couple times. They're kind of tough to get them to update it. Kink in the chat saying, yeah, they won't do anything that he sends them. Needs to be myself or Hans. Yeah, I can do it again. I can submit it to them. It's a good point. Yeah, we should update that. I suppose I should just basically set aside like an hour or two and just bang out some of these small little things.
The coin market cap one also is off compared to the Block Explorer.
Yep.
So that screenshot I put in the chat is what I was, I think, trying to refer to. I just wasn't articulating it. There's no choice for USD in the you know, for the balance of your wallet. You can see your balance in BTC and Raven and whatever, but there isn't one for USD. I don't know. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's just that's what I was referring to.
Do you know if in the Raven Electrum, if they have a USD option?
I'm pretty sure they do, because before, I mean, here, I'll open it right now because I still have that thing on.
Because if they've got one, then what I can do is just go grab whatever code and copy it and then just switch it over for EVR. I'm guessing it's probably just API based too. It's probably just hitting like Binance or something. It's got to be the exact same.
Yeah, here I'll put it in the chat right now.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So it's got
See what
something.
you mean.
I converted all my Raven to EVR. You know, have to join the team. But yeah, I don't know what theirs was hitting, but I just noticed that it wasn't even an option in. Let me see. I don't even know if it's an option. Or tools, preferences, fiat. Yeah, so there's a running list of all sorts of currencies in theirs, which I imagine once you get one, it's just tapping into a conversion rate somewhere.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, sweet. When I take a look at the core stuff, I'll look at that.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we'll get that updated. It's kind of lame that it doesn't already have it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with it. Because I don't know how it was copied over. I'm not that smart. I'm smart enough to install stuff with instructions and troubleshoot here and there, but knowing how all that stuff works, no, I'm not there yet. But that's why I figured, I'll try the Trezor, see if it works. It's in a couple EVR over. Nope, didn't work. Okay, don't use it.
Yeah. Curiosity killed the cat. Be careful.
Yeah.
No, I'll jump in. It'll be easy. Kink saying, "Hey, K-Rod did a bunch of that stuff." In the Raven Electrum, throw him a bounty. Yeah, I haven't spoken to K-Rod in a little bit. Last time I talked to him, he was super busy and wasn't able to pitch in and kind of do some stuff. So maybe I'll reach back out to him. I think on that stuff, it might just be easy enough. If it's just API based, I should be able to jump in and just bang it out. It should be pretty simple. My guess is there's just like one method in there that's like Binance Exchange, and then you just switch the little string from like USD to safe to BTC, and it's just hitting the same exact endpoint on Binance. So we'll just switch that over to like CoinX and ZegX, and I mean it's pretty straightforward. I've written a ton of that type of stuff for all of Magic, right? So that we can go and grab price data, so that way you know the value of your different coins you're holding. Oh, still saying that there's some other features missing from there. Interesting. Still, he should shoot me a message. Tell me what's missing. But anything else? Any other updates? Any other questions people have? We have started clipping these and we've been recording them. So we'll continue to do that. I think that'll continue to get new people into the community.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm trying to think of questions each week. So there's, some prompts for answering something and just trying to help create something since I'm not a coder.
No, man. Hey, everything helps. We all kind of pitch in where we can. Kink helps a ton. Pipe helps a ton. Casfot's been doing a bunch of stuff. I'm not trying to like single people out, but because I'm sure I'll forget a million people. But yeah, there are a ton of people working on things and pitching in where they can. And the truth is, Evrmore is a community effort. It's only as good as everybody coming together and participating where they can. I'm super excited though about where we're headed. We've been working really, really hard for the last little while on a number of fronts. And so that's all starting to come to fruition. 2025 is going to be freaking amazing.
Yeah, it sounds really good. There's a lot of stuff in the pipeline. I'll go ahead and switch over my desktop EVR wallet to Testnet and mine some. That way I can just start messing with stuff. One of the things I like to do is see if I can break stuff. Like when I do my research and stuff, I just try to break stuff. For whatever reason. It's just fun. And that way I can be like, oh, there's a problem here. That doesn't work. Let's go fix that or tell somebody. So
That's definitely what we
I'll
need.
see if
Yeah, the more people we have in there trying to break things and
well, I need
try it
to
out, the
create
better.
some type of environment with an ETH wallet for testing on that side as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to help test the bridge stuff too on the ETH side, that'd be
I'll
amazing.
I'll test everything. I just don't know how to create a test ETH wallet type thing. So we don't need to go through it now. Like somebody can give me some instructions later on. I'm fairly
Yeah,
good
for
at
sure.
following those.
Once the remint goes live on Testnet, I'll I'll start working with some of the Satori people, and I'm sure that they'll reach out and they'll put out some information asking people to help with some instruction and yeah, the more people we can get jumping in and like mining Testnet, trying to break stuff, hitting and using the remint code, the better. I talked
Cool. That's
to
my jam.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I talked to Metastack this week about that. He was saying that he's happy to kind of jump in and get some people involved, and so I anticipate we're going to be doing that here shortly. Let's see.
Cool.
King's linking me to something. Let's go check it out. Thoughts on this? Thought it was a great idea. Trivial for anyone to do outreach. Oh yeah, I saw that you guys linked me to that, but I didn't get a chance to check out what the discussion was or what he had posted yet. It looks like a fairly lengthy write-up, so I'll have to read through it. And then I can give a much better response. But yeah, sorry about that. I just didn't get to that.
Is he talking about the thing that Will wrote up?
Yes. Yep.
I think it's basically just saying, like who Jordan is and like this is what Satori is. Just get more eyes on the project. I think to get Jordan on like podcasts.
Oh, I see. So it's basically
More of a marketing thing.
Yeah, totally. So it's basically just like a write-up that people can send out. Is that right?
Yeah, and it like links Meta's calendar thing to schedule an interview with them if they're interested.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I love it. I think that'd be great. Yeah, we should probably put something together like that. That's a good idea. I have a Calendly. I assume that that's probably what Metastack's using as well. Or maybe he's just using like G Calendar, whatever. I guess it doesn't matter either way. Yeah, we should do something like that. Yeah, we do like a write-up, and then that way anybody can go and throw it around to different podcasts, and then that way Hans and I can jump in and make some appearances, talk about EVR. You know, I'll say this: the more I do these live streams, the more natural it feels. The less nervous I am. You know, it's not my natural thing. I'm definitely outside of my element, but it's a good thing. You know, you don't want to stay stuck doing the things that you only feel comfortable doing.
I think you do a great job, Zeroth.
Oh,
Killing
hell yeah.
it, man.
Thanks, man. Hey, long time no see.
Yeah, work.
I hear you. No, yeah, these things they definitely get easier. It just feels more natural. Like, you know, you're just having a conversation, like whatever.
I almost think Evermore's in a better spot to do that. And the only reason I'm saying that is because people that aren't that technical, especially with Satori, if they go to the website, there's not much going on the website right now. I probably would have been around like 2 months earlier, but I went to the website and couldn't really figure anything out. So I left and then came back, and then I realized like what was going on.
I see. Yeah, I think the more that we like do these live streams, you know what's so crazy? I set up an entire podcast studio in my basement and I haven't even used it. I need to. Just thinking out loud, marketing and kind of community outreach, getting on other podcasts. Everpod. Yeah, I mean, we totally could. Dude, it's dope too. Like, I don't know if CLC's in here. Is he in here tonight? No, I don't see him. He's been over to my house. Same with Metastack. Like, they know it's It's like a super legit podcast studio. It's freaking awesome. So I need to use
You
it.
should have all of them over. Do a podcast with all of them.
Say it one more time.
I said you should have all of them over your house then.
I totally could.
You
Yeah.
have-
I thought about inviting like different people that I know that are in crypto. Like I could have Blonde Frogs over. Like I could have Blonde Frogs over. I could invite Tron over and talk to him. I could talk to a bunch of different people.
That'd be all. I think there'd be some eyes for that.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm saying it's pretty great, but that's only because it actually is pretty great. It's a professional studio. It's set up for like 4 people, and
Oh shit! Do you have a picture of it?
I could like run and take a picture if you guys really want to see it. I'm at his house right now. Get
We
out
can
of
do
here.
it
Do you want me to run and like take a photo?
I mean, you could do it later and post it.
Yeah,
on
I'll just do
Twitter
it
or
later.
something.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. That'd be weird for me to run and do that now. Kai, get out of my basement. Yeah. Take like a well shit, that's good promotion, right? I'll take some pictures of it and then post it up like, hey, podcast. And I should sit down. You know, it's funny. Metastack and I, we've sat down and we recorded some stuff, but then we were like, I don't know. Yeah, Blonde Frogs. Dude, Blonde Frogs is dope. He's awesome. He and I should sit down and chat. Yeah, he's super cool. He's funny too. He's super, super smart and not what you'd expect a lot of the time. Us devs, you know, we can be pretty nerdy and not able to communicate with most humans, the normies. But he's not one of those. Yeah. I should have him over. But the incident, yeah. I don't know about that, Kink. Yeah. But no, I definitely need to start using that. And what prompted that was the thing that Will wrote up. So like getting on other people's podcasts. I could definitely do that and then switch up the background. So this is the live stream and then the other is for chatting with people either on their podcast or inviting them on my own.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. Yeah. What else do you guys want to talk about? You want to chat about anything else, or should we wrap it up? Jump back into the code then. All right, guys.
Have the DApp developers come over and explain what their DApp's going to be on your podcast.
That'd be dope.
They can promote their DApp
Oh,
on
hell yeah.
your DApp store. So when they start doing it, it gives visibility to the DApp store, visibility to their DApp, and just kind of, I don't know. That seems to be kind of the thing that works, right? Because you look at things like the Sean Ryan show, he just brings people on to talk about whatever they want to talk about. So
Hell yeah.
you can bring people on to talk about their DApp and other things and what else they're building for the DApp store on EVR or whatever. And
Yeah, I love it.
promotes them, promotes you, promotes everybody at the same time. So
Yeah, I should have Metastack over. We should chat about Satori, any of the pool guys if they want to jump in. I could any of the like some of the core devs. Obviously, we've said like Hans, Blonde Frogs.
yeah, I'm
Any
a
of these
Cerberus.
guys.
I looked at Satori and I was just kind of like, what? I don't have time to go through all this right now. This doesn't seem easy. So I'm just gonna stick with EVR for now.
Yeah,
That's what I did, and that's where I'm at.
Hell yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that, man. That's great.
But if he was on there explaining it,
Yes.
you know, it would be a lot easier, right? So
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, it's like you're saying, right? With the Sean Ryan thing, it's like people watch it just like Rogan or any of these other podcasts. It's Quick, simple. You just throw it on. You can listen to it passively.
Yeah, I listen to those things while I'm doing all sorts of stuff around the house, cleaning, working out, doing whatever. And then here you could have one that it would promote your DApp store, the chain, and their DApp all at the same time, and talk about other stuff in crypto that's going on. And then it could even help generate ideas for new things that you may want to bring on, because they may say, "Oh yeah, we were thinking about doing this on here, but the functionality isn't there." And then you could be like, "Oh yeah, well let me go build that real quick, and I'll see you in 2 weeks or something, and then we'll have it." I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'd be dope. I mean, I created it to chat with a bunch of people about things. I just now need to make it a priority and do it. Just like we've made this a priority each week. We've been good and consistent about it. I just need to do that with the pod room now. Yeah, dude, it's like, I mean, it's a studio. It's freaking amazing.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'll make a point to do it. I just need to sit down and pull the trigger. Not well, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, on getting started.
On getting started. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't clip that. Nobody clip that.
Yeah. Yep. So King saying I should maybe write up some Medium articles and stuff. Obviously, when Tron over on Ravencoin wrote those up, they were always kind of a big hit. That's also a good idea. Yeah. Making distribution more of a priority. So Medium, podcast stuff, the stuff that Will wrote up, getting Hans, myself, other people on different podcasts, and then continuing to do these live streams and clipping them. I think we're off to a good start. So
yeah, and having
continue the
explainer
momentum.
videos for how to do stuff that that show it outright. That stuff always goes well. I mean, I made one for showing how to mine Ravencoin on NiceHash doing solo, and that thing got thousands of views, and it's still going. People are still asking me questions, and it's like 3 years old. So
Hell yeah.
just
Yeah.
put explainer videos put out there, and they just sit, and people just slowly gravitate towards them, and then they just start building, and they work. So
Yeah, we've talked about making explainer videos before. I think we should definitely do that as a part of these new features rolling out. And maybe those can be like the first videos. Hey, here's how to add a toll to an asset. Here's how to use the new remint code. That kind of thing. And then that way it's not just these live streams that are on the different EVR accounts.
yeah, because I mean, I had to use it. I used an explainer video that was made for Raven to use the Stratum proxy to solo mine my own node. Like that's what I used to set it up. And when there's a video and someone's showing you exactly what they're doing and they're talking and explaining it, it's just it's extremely easy. And you just be like, hey, go watch this video. This is how you do it. So
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we'll definitely make a point to make some of those videos, and then as people kind of gravitate towards them, I definitely see how that makes it a lot easier for people. Not everybody's going to tune into a live stream or really jump through all the hoops needed to kind of figure things out on their own. So the easier you make it for people, the more people will get interested in the things that you're building. Distribution's
absolutely, kind of like your button bridge.
Yes,
Everything
exactly.
needs to be that easy for people so they can just plug and play. That's what people want. So
Yeah, totally. Plug and play. You're totally right. Anybody else?
Do you have? Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have an opinion on, like, let's say if social media posts and stuff, do you have an opinion on funneling people to Discord versus like a website?
I've tried to funnel people over to Discord as opposed to the website, but then there were a couple people that reached out to me and told me, "Hey, that's not what you should do. You should funnel people towards the website." I think they have pros and cons. So if you basically funnel people over to the website, as long as the website's done well, they can kind of learn more, and then at that point decide whether or not they want to get involved in the community. And then from there, you can link them to the different videos or to Discord or to wherever you're, wherever they think their next best step is. I like the community engagement on Discord mainly because our Discord's full of a bunch of awesome people. It's a really friendly place. We don't have like any drama really. And people are super happy to help. So I have just pushed people over to Discord. I think it's the easier place for people at the moment. But maybe that changes as we build out the next version of the website. What is your opinion?
So I pretty much agree with what you said. The reason I brought it up was because I sat in on one of the marketing discussions for Satori, and I'm not sure who said it, but one of the guys was saying how like we should be trying to send as many people to Discord as possible. And like I agree, like I think it is a great place for community and stuff, like you were saying. But I feel like if I look at it from like a normie perspective, like nobody in my life understands crypto, right? Like everybody probably feels that way here. So if they don't already have a Discord and don't understand that, I feel like you need a website just to send everyday people to that aren't really involved the way that we're involved. That makes sense?
Yeah, totally. You got to kind of play to your audience is what you're saying. So if you're just like an average,
Right.
just normie that knows nothing, you really kind of need something like the website so that it's
Right.
an explainer.
And that's
Here's what
kind
this
of
is. Here's why you should get involved. Here's why you should be interested. And then they can choose to either like fire up a node or create an asset or do whatever it is.
yeah, and like you were saying, I think like you should push Discord like as much as you can. But I think when let's take Satori for example, because I know they're working on the website. But like if I'm trying to tell my friends about like Satori, and they're like, "Well, send me something." And I send them the Discord. It looks like when you join any Discord that's related to crypto, it's gonna look insane, right?
You send them to
So
Discord, they're like, "What the hell's this?"
yeah, they're like, "What's a neuron?" Like they want to know all this information. I'm like, it's hard for them to just sit down and learn about it like I would, because
That's
they're
where our
not as
website's way
interested in
better.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here's a neuron.
Um,
Here's how it works. Like next step. Here's the next thing. Here's why you should get involved. Like here's how it works. Click a thing, tap a whatever. It makes
right. And then you got
predictions.
to
It's AI.
troubleshoot. So, and if they're not interested in running a neuron, it's like, it's are they going to put in that much effort to learn about, like, to join a Discord to learn about it?
No, they definitely aren't. Yeah, really from like a normie perspective, you gotta go low hanging fruit first, right? It's an AI that makes predictions. Well, how's this
Right.
different from ChatGPT?
It's like, here we go.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why earlier I brought up the marketing thing that Will wrote up. I think that would be fantastic for Satori if after they release the new website that's being worked on. But I think if you try and expand too fast, you're gonna lose a lot of potential attention that it could have had, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
I think a lot of normies just want to YOLO into a meme coin. Like I hate to say it,
No, you're
but
right.
a lot of it is just altcoin stuff on Twitter and trying to be like, "Oh, this is the next 100x, blah blah blah," and you can't say anything to them. They don't respond, and if somebody does, it's usually somebody impersonating a big Twitter account trying to send you to a Telegram link so they can run away with all of your stuff. So I mean, a lot of people they like the meme coins. And I think if you could, that's why I said, the other week, as much as I hate to say it, would it be easy to create meme coins for people? Because I can see a regular person just saying, like you tell them, you can create your own meme coin and sell it right there. It's just 2 buttons or however many buttons, 2 buttons, and you got a meme coin. Tell everyone to buy it, and you could be rich in 2 days. You know. or not, or broke.
Excluding the
Yeah.
the last part about getting rich or being broke.
Yeah.
That definitely seems like a
But
good
yeah.
video to make, right? Hey, here's how to create a meme coin on EVR. And it's a 2-minute video. You download this, you click that, you upload an image, bam.
Yeah, exactly. And then another, like the next video in the list could be like, here's how to send your meme coin to Ethereum to post it, blah, blah, wherever you want.
Yep.
And then bridge, done. Okay, 30 seconds, you're out. But as far as like the website versus the Discord, I usually share with people the website, but the link that I choose is the one with the community tab. And when I share it with them, I say, hey, here's the website. The Discord is right there on this page. That way they don't have to go looking for it. It's right there. So if they're Discord inclined, they'll see it and they'll click on that. And if not, they'll click on the other navigation links at the top. So I kind of try to, split hairs with that one.
Smart. Yeah. That way they can get to the Discord or Telegram easily, but then if they're wanting to learn more or whatever, they can click the home or whatever place they want to go.
Yeah, because everything's visible. Like when you land on evrmore.com/community, like Discord is the first thing right there. And if they're inclined for Discord, then they're going to click that more than likely. If not, they're going to be like, oh, well, what's mining? What are the projects? So go click that in the nav bar. So that's usually how when I share it with the community open. So they land there and they can make a choice.
Yes, totally. Yep. Makes it easy. Sweet. I was just looking at it again. It's been a while since I've been on the website.
Just to expand on what you were saying earlier, the meme coin is kind of crazy how popular that specific portion of crypto has become. Like my 20-year-old cousin just sits and trades on Solana or Pumped Out Fund all day trying to hit it big.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you're looking in the wrong spot. Like it's just.
Yeah, it's where the money's going. Unfortunately, I used to work offshore, and my buddy still works offshore in diving. So he hit me up and he's like, hey, did you hear about blah blah blah? And it's a meme coin. And I'm like, nah, dude, I don't buy meme coins. And he's like, well, this guy out here on the boat that I work with, he got out of the water on a dive and he checked his phone and apparently he made like $10,000. And I was like, I don't buy it, dude. Did you see proof? And he's like, dude, he showed me his accounts from when he was home last time from his last hitch. Apparently this kid has been trading meme coins and he's made like 60 grand over the course of a few months. I mean, that's just what people want, the easy stuff. They don't want to have to go, like you said, they don't want to have to search around, learn something, do this, do that. They just want to be able to click and go.
Yeah, I guess that's where you separate the people that are in it for the money and the people that actually just enjoy the tech. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it seems like all the dumb money and kind of speculative people are into the meme coins, whereas I don't think that's
There's a
why
lot
any
of
of
dumb
us are
money.
kind of involved. It definitely is it's the building, it's the tech, it's not like the next whatever pump and dump meme coin.
I'd like to advocate that if you have the skill and ability to absolutely destroy meme coins and meme chains and flip it back to the OG chains, the real, like, flip the dumb money to the smart money. Because, like, it's quite easy. That's what I do, guys, FYI.
What do you mean by flip the dumb money into the smart money?
Well, so, like, however much I made off Solana meme coins last year, every last bit of it got flipped into Monero, Raven, Ever, like my main bags, right? I try and extract as much liquidity as possible from the crypto bros. They're not my mates.
That's funny.
And I haven't worked since 2020, so, just some advice.
Hell yeah.
When you say it that way, it's not a bad idea.
Post a YouTube video, show me how to do it.
Yeah, there's no easy clicks. Otherwise, all the Zoomies would be doing it. I basically have a couple of different bots that I run on Solana, right? You can't use the public bots that everybody uses because then you're in competition with other guys like on your level. You got to remember, crypto is PvP right now. I hope it's not always going to be that way, but it is absolutely PvP.
Well, I don't want it to turn into
Sorry, Zeroth. Tell me to rack off, mate.
No, you're good, man. It's I hear where you're coming from. You know, there's a lot of dumb money and scam projects out there. We strive to definitely not be one of them. But
Yeah.
you know, in all
I'm
honesty,
kinda
I'm
going-
not surprised. Like, what do you expect? Most people are gonna do what they're gonna do.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
gonna be there. They remind me of like penny stock pump and dumps,
Yeah.
before crypto took off. You'd see penny stock pump and dumps where they create the direct public offering or something, and then the price would rise up. They'd have authorized shares and outstanding. They just issue more from their authorized and just dilute it into oblivion. And then, oh look, we're bankrupt, and then they fold up shop and start a new company the next week.
Yeah, exactly. It's the pink sheets,
So,
penny
like,
stock, Wolf of Wall Street
yeah, I mean,
nonsense.
that even happens outside of the stock market, because I've worked at companies where they close shop on like a Friday, and by next Wednesday they're all working at a new company with the same equipment, but you just had the stickers for the new company slapped over the old stickers.
Totally.
So, like, it happens everywhere, and it's just the nature of it. So people want it. That's where money goes, because they think they're going to be the one that hits it big.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd imagine that like 95% of the people that try and are on Solana trading meme coins probably lose their money.
Oh, without doubt.
Oh, they
yeah.
do.
Probably 99.
Oh, yeah.
99%, yeah.
Yeah.
But dog with hat, man.
No,
I
it's
have-
crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
In the short run,
ahead.
you'll definitely see that, but then hopefully in the long run, it'll never go away, right? Like, it'll definitely be around, but once people kind of get fooled once, it seems like a phase they go through.
Kind of got to learn the hard way.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I think one of the only things that could tamper it a little bit would be some type of legislation, because apparently the new administration is supposed to be pro crypto, which means they might try to push forward, some legislation that helps codify how some of this stuff is supposed to work. So if they do that, and then all of a sudden there's, stiff penalties, let's say, whether it's civil or criminal, for doing some of these things, if that ever comes out of the pipeline, then some of this stuff might dial way back, but that's just kind of a wait and see if it happens.
I can see that happening. At the same time, I feel like, let's say the SEC comes in and really gives them like regulations, like really how to do everything. I could see it growing if like big institutions are less afraid to come into it.
I definitely could see that. If we get like more regulatory clarity, I don't think that you're going to prevent the meme coin stuff. It seems like if the US government was going to go after and crack down on a lot of these things, they would have done that over the last 4 years in a more heavy-handed way. My guess is that it's more of a whack-a-mole type problem where any idiot with a computer on Earth can basically spin this crap up. And so it's really hard to prevent, because for every mole you go and hit, there's 50,000 others that pop up.
Yeah.
I don't know how you prevent that.
You try and take like somebody that's well known, like take Hawk to a coin, for example,
Yep.
and really give them a severe punishment, maybe make less people think about doing that. I guess that'd be on like a US type thing though.
Well, eventually, if they want to actually take that, whatever they earn, and spend it on something in real life, they're going to have to hit a fiat ramp somewhere, which is going to have their name attached to it. So, I mean, unless they're living in somewhere where everything is crypto to crypto payments, like, eventually, we're talking about, you'd have to have whole divisions looking into this stuff and justice or whatever. But that's a different topic. I don't want to start, going down that ramp.
Seems difficult to me that they'd be able to go after everybody, but I do think that you're right. They'll make examples out of kind of the worst offenders, but then I don't know how you're going to go after everybody when any idiot can kind of do it, unfortunately. in my opinion, in large part, it's due to restrictive gambling laws. I think essentially what a lot of these people are doing is they're just finding a way to gamble because it's in large part illegal to do that. And so this is the easiest outlet for that dumb gambling type money. I don't know. Seems like a hard problem, in my opinion, to kind of solve from an administrative perspective. You guys got anything else you want to chat about?
I'd also add that if people are losing money trading meme coins, they just deserve to lose that money regardless.
I definitely feel bad for a lot of the people. Not everybody is smart, and so there's a lot of dumb money out there. But at the same time, hey, look, most of them are grown adults making their own decisions. It's kind of hard to fix dumb.
Yeah, and if they're going to lose their money, they might as well lose it bringing liquidity to EVR.
Oh, I was gonna say they might as well lose it to Cerberus, but
I mean, at this point, I'm even PvP in my own family, right?
Oh, no.
Dad's in there.
PvP in your own family.
Yeah, Dad's a crypto bro.
Classic.
That's funny.
He's one of those guys that like I've done IT my entire life. You think he would wisen up by now, but he goes to a website, you're the 1000th visitor, you've won, and he will click that shit every single time. He's the guy that like signs up to, oh, we've got this exclusive 6-month course. It'll teach you everything you know to be the best trader. And he was throwing money at it. It's terrible. It sucks, man.
Hey, Dad, you should cash out your 401k into this new meme coin, and then you're the one actually selling it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, he told me a meme coin. He did tell me a meme coin that he was looking at on Solana.
Oh, no.
And yeah, I botted it and it went to 0 basically. And he was like, holy shit. And I showed him how much I made out of it. And I said, you got no idea what you're doing, old boy. Give up now.
Yeah. It's a young man's game.
Yeah. Well, like the guys have been saying, hey, like if you have to spend longer than a couple of hours like investigating, most people don't want to do it. I'll spend days going through stuff and going through the code. Like I did not touch Satori until I went through the entire repo, every single word. There was stuff in there like Jordan's got hidden conversations, like not exactly hidden, but there's conversations in there where he's like building the idea and like it's backwards and forwards with other experts. And I was like, oh, wow. That's how I verified that a lot of this stuff was real, right? And then I built the neurons myself and started working it all out. This is cool. But like, yeah, my dad would never do that.
Yeah, exactly. Most people just aren't willing to do that. But I mean, that really is what differentiates the kind of the scams and meme coins from the legit projects. There are a number of legit projects that are out there, but unfortunately, the majority of crypto is just not great.
That's right. Yeah, and a lot of people are looking for that quick turnaround. They'll come in, hype your project, they'll pump it, and they'll dump it.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's all about the long run. It's about the long run.
It's the same with Evrmore, right?
Tech.
Fundamentals have changed. Like that's why a lot of Ravencoin guys are here. Like, sure, Ravencoin's okay in its own lane, but Evrmore is going to bring these kind of changes where, like, guys like my dad will be. It's going to be a lot easier for them to participate.
Yeah, I definitely think it's important. I don't want to get on the Ravencoin subject, but Evrmore is definitely bringing some things that are desired and needed.
Yeah, big time.
Unfortunately, those things couldn't happen elsewhere, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think Evrmore community is quite healthy right now too, right? Like it might not be as like, right, Raven's got a pretty big default community, but I mean it's a bit sloppy these days. Like it's not nice, active, fresh. There's like Evrmore every day. Like most people are aware that there's quite a few cool things coming, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's like we were saying before. There's like no drama in Evrmore. Just everybody in here is
Mhm.
super dope, cool. Everybody's chill, happy to help. I think it's
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, it's like it's an amazing community.
I have a question. Did you ever? I know you've been busy. Did you ever get a chance to reach out to anyone about miners? Like because Wild Rig, like the miners have issues with some of the cards. So like I know my card was having an issue with some of them, and I know we talked about Everprog Power Miner. I think it was Seal who had to compile a version for me to run on my computer. But even then, like it's not signed or anything, so it constantly gets tripped out. Windows is constantly like, screw you, we're gonna quarantine this. And then I tried to build it in my own Linux, and it went crazy. So I'm not advanced enough for that.
Do you use
Unfortunately,
GPT to help you out? Sorry, Zeroth.
oh, I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I haven't jumped into that yet.
I was using GPT to help troubleshoot some of the errors I was setting up the Electrum server. Because basically, whenever I get an error, I try to flush it out, and then if I can't really see it, I'll just copy and paste the error into GPT and be like, "Tell me what to do."
Yeah,
You know,
that's great. That's good.
I'll link it over to I'll say this is the GitHub repo. This is the error I'm getting trying to set this up from this repo. Tell me what to
Awesome,
do.
man. That's exactly, man. I'd love to see millions of people using this LLMs properly like that. That is absolutely how it's supposed to be used. Well done. I say that because people like jump on GPT, draw me cat, and then and then wonder why the output's so terrible. The input sucks, dude.
Yeah, like you have to prime it, and then if I can, I'll feed it a website where it's like, this is where this is coming from. Go through and I'll even tell it, go through the website and tell me that you understand what's going on and give me a summary. And then I don't really care what it says. I just kind of skim the summary to make sure it's on point. And then I'm like, here's my error. And then it's like, okay, yeah, here you go.
So another aspect to that is really important right now. The more people that use it and talk about Evrmore in these LLM systems, the more that they learn and become aware. So like not even that long ago, right? Like I could never use GPT for Evermore because it's just not aware of like the changes, and it was sort of like, oh well, as a fork of Ravencoin, and it had spit me Ravencoin stuff. So the more people that use it and go through Evermore on there, the more that these LLMs pick up information-wise. So anybody else that comes on and types has a shitty input, they will get a good output still because we've all been using it and teaching it, right?
I think that's why I initially dropped the GitHub repo into GPT, because it spit out something about Ravencoin, and I was like, no, this is different. Here's the GitHub repo for this new project, and I gave it the link, and then I could see it saying like analyzing or searching web, and then it came back with a new summary and memory updated and whatever, and then I finally could start getting somewhere with the questions. So, I mean, it's basically like it's a troubleshooting machine for me. I'm not a dev. So
something like 6 months ago, back when I was using ChatGPT, I created an Evrmore agent that was public, where I fed it like all the Evrmore documents and like roadmap and all sorts of stuff, and then I was able to like query it and ask it any type of question.
Can you link that agent, dude? Sweet.
I don't have ChatGPT anymore, but I'm sure I could go like look it up and find it.
Oh, that's okay. I'll look it up and find it. No worries, man. I'll get it.
I'm pretty sure I made it public.
Legend, dude.
Yeah.
I love making agents.
Is this? I think I found it. I'll put a screenshot in the chat. Is this it?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm about to start I'm gonna have a conversation.
Yeah, sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. 9 conversations. Those are probably all me.
Well, it's about to increase because I've got problems.
Yeah, ask it some things. I'm sure we can probably update it. Like I said, it was like 6 months ago, so I didn't spend a ton of time on it, but just kind of playing around. I fed it. I think it has access to like the white paper, like the roadmap, as well as some of the Everlight and Noster Forever stuff. It
Sweet.
definitely won't have any of the latest stuff though. Like it'll probably know about asset tools, but definitely not about remint and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's got. I asked it what its resources are, so it has some stuff on there, and it's linked to the GitHub. So like all the latest stuff should be coming from there.
Yep.
And it's linked to the. I don't know which website y'all are gonna update, but it's linked to the .org Evrmore.
Oh, I see.
Han's
Yeah,
website, right?
I'm updating the .com, but
Okay.
Nude,
Yeah,
I
I'll
knew
start using this one instead, or the other one. I don't know.
yeah.
I didn't hear the beginning of your question about the miner, but are you on Windows or are you using like Hive?
Oh, I was using Windows, and then I eventually settled on SRD miner because it was the only one that. So every ProgPal miner would go, and then it would just kind of. It would look like it's mining, and then I would look at it, and it would be like 3 hours behind on spitting out the printouts, the readings.
Okay.
So I
I
kind of
have
stopped using that one.
Yeah, I have two rigs running on Wild Rig that seem to be working pretty well.
I can't remember what issue I had with Wilder. I think it was connecting to a pool. It kept giving me some issue with like change it to JSON-RPC because Stratum isn't working, and it would spit that out for like 5 minutes, and then it would finally click over. That was on a pool, but right now I'm just connecting to my local node Stratum using SRB, and it's working fine. I mean, every now and then I have to take it out of quarantine because Windows is Windows, but it works fine. Everything works fine when I hop over into Linux, if I'm ever in Linux. So
I gotcha.
oh, King said that's Nano Miner that does that JSON RPC thing. But I think it was because I have a 4090 and those miners weren't working. They weren't compiled with that or something. They weren't updated for it. But I mean, they're going to need to be updated when the 5000 series cards come out and the new 9000 series AMD cards come out. So that's something that's going to need to be done at some point.
Yeah, I was hoping Rigel was gonna add support for EVR ProgPal.
I've tried reaching out to like Gminer, but like their Discord is I don't know how to describe it. It's not worth going to the Discord to ask questions. So I don't know who to reach out to about updating the miners for the new cards for EVR, or if they would even listen to me. Kink is saying some are broken. Rigel, the only one.
Speaking of that, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Ravencoin ASIC.
Yeah, right.
I've
What's
stopped
the
paying
latest on
attention to that.
Yeah.
I'm almost
Was there
certain that
an
it's just.
announcement on that?
Say it again, Caspot.
What was that?
Sorry, Zeroth, I saw that you posted on X something about attending the podcast. Was that sarcastic, or was there something announced that there's going to be one?
Yeah, Jaros had put out an additional tweet saying the intention behind Bitmain is to work with the community and they're wanting to do a podcast. And then Tron had replied saying like, and I'm paraphrasing, so I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, yeah, I'm happy to join the podcast. So then to me to
keep it open and transparent.
Yeah. Yep. And so I'm excited to kind of hear the podcast. I think if Bitmain's doing a podcast and Tron's joining, I personally think that's a tell. I mean,
yeah, that sounds like they're gonna. Because if it was no, then why even?
Well, they can't say no. I mean, that's the honest truth that nobody wants to say. The truth is that Ravencoin just doesn't have the development resources and people to really pull something like a new algo change off. And so either they can work with Bitmain and be on good terms, or they can just passively accept that ASICs are coming.
Yeah, worst thing would be to try to fight it and lose because you have no developers.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. FPGAs have already been on Raven for a long time too, and I'm sure you'd be able to do it on Evrmore, like, but it's technical and expensive, so there's a good barrier there. And that's what I'm assuming these ASICs will be. It's not going to be like a typical ASIC. They can't do that.
I'm excited for ASICs to come to Raven personally. I think it makes sense from a tokenized security standpoint and working kind of in a more professional manner with professional players in the industry. And so, and I also think it could breathe some new life into Ravencoin, not in terms of development, certainly, but in terms of more professional adoption on the tokenized securities front.
Yeah.
It'll
think it was you that
be
linked-
interesting. We'll have to have some more discussions surrounding how that might affect EverProgPow. Obviously, the ASIC isn't going to be built for EverProgPow, but potentially with like some tweaks or changes, it might be able to be used, and obviously we can have those discussions as needed.
Another thing that was telling to me, and I think you linked me the video that he did with Bits Be Trippin', where he was talking about saying that he doesn't foresee any new changes to Ravencoin because it's stable and it's functioning, and the only thing that he would really be willing to step in and mess with is if there were security issues. And one of the reasons behind that was because he says that it's so spread out. There's so many different people and big exchanges around the world that are running it, that it would be very hard to pull off, a fork or something like that to make a change. That they don't want to do it just here and there for this or that, because there'd be too many changes happening too fast, and they'd be trying to contact too many people too much, I think, was kind of what he was getting at. So he kind of defaulted to saying, unless it's a security issue, I don't foresee any changes coming to it. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the project over there is so big at this point that it requires a very active community with a lot of developers and a lot of contacts and a lot of people participating to do any type of fork, which obviously would include an algo change, and they don't have that at the moment. But I'm excited for it. I think it'll be interesting to kind of observe, and then obviously from an EVR perspective, I think it'll be interesting. We can either proactively or reactively decide what we're gonna do. But it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to kind of see how that shakes out over there.
Let's say that they do end up releasing ASICs for Raven. What happens to Raven at that point? Does a bunch of attention come back to it?
I don't know. I
Like,
definitely
what's the point?
Okay,
think.
well, so
Sorry, go ahead.
can I answer, Zeroth?
Yeah, of
Thanks,
course.
bro. I'm sorry to cut you off, man.
No, it's all good.
You can always tell me to get the hell out and shut up. You know that. I'll listen.
Yeah, no worries.
So basically what will happen is like no more GPU mining on it, because like why would you? It's not profitable. It is profitable, but barely, and you're going to get destroyed by anybody else that owns an ASIC. I can't see. Like I definitely know why Zeroth is excited to see, right? Because it's not going to affect Evrmore, but yeah, and we get to see how it will play out on the Ravencoin chain. But I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be good. It's only going to be good to like get all the people that have been in the Ravencoin space for ages, like Bits Be Trippin', like myself and whatnot. They get to become like little mini market makers, look what happened with Ethereum. I don't know if everyone was around like, GPU mining Ethereum and stuff, but like ASICs took over so quick.
Yeah,
was crazy.
I was mining Ethereum to the end almost with my my one little GPU, and it was kind of ridiculous. And then even more so towards the end, like you couldn't even get. I was mining it on 2 miners, and
Yep.
like half of my mined ETH was just stuck on 2 miners because it wasn't being sent for whatever reason, and it just kind of turned into a headache at that point. But also I think prices were a little different then as well because I was making like I think $12 a day back then or something like that through
Yeah.
either nice hash or something. But they would have to
Well,
see significant price rise on Raven for GPU miners to remain profitable after ASICs dominated.
that's right. We're on the line right now. Like, it's
Yeah. And speaking of that, like I noticed that whenever EVR price got up to around 0004 the other week, like a week or two ago, that is all that it took for the daily profitability of EVR to jump to the lead on almost all of the GPUs.
yeah.
That's when it was around point 0004, and then that's when What to Mine and the other place had EVR in the lead for profitability for everything. So I mean, just a little bit of buying on these exchanges can get it up to like I got it up to 0003 last week just trying to buy some because the liquidity was disappearing when I was clicking buy. So like just a little bit of buying pressure can get it up to point 0004, and that would make it profitable, the most profitable on all these different websites and stuff. And as soon as the people check that, they're going to start pointing miners that way if it stays that way for a little while. So we're close.
Yeah, we are. We're close. And I think that this will coincide with all of these new features basically hitting mainnet. So it could be an interesting
nice.
time. Yeah.
And the other thing is like if a lot of it, the way I see it, if a lot of attention goes to Ravencoin, that gives me an opportunity to jump in and be like, oh hey, check out Evrmore. This is where this Ravencoin, my opinion, where it was supposed to go, and they decided to just hold off. But now check out, we've got this, and this.
We've got DeFi, baby.
And it's
the biggest thing was
GPU mineable.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is like ETH competitor. Here we come. Meanwhile, ETH switched to proof of stake, meant to go deflationary. I don't know if anybody's checked, but we're back up at the levels where it's exactly the same as when we merged. I think Evrmore is in a position like it'll mature by itself, and as like use cases and utility actually matter and take place, like it'll just come out. It'll just happen on its own naturally. Yeah, a lot of people are waking up to the whole Ethereum, whatever you want to call it right now, debacle. It's been years playing out, right? But people are waking up to it. I see a lot of ETH hate these days.
Yeah, it's not like it once was.
Yep.
And if you give them somewhere to transfer their assets to, Bridge, EVR.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the biggest plus for the bridge that I see for sure.
So once that test stuff is all set up, I'm going to start figuring out if I can break it. And then once it goes live, I'll figure out how to do it with something cheap. And then I'll try and make a video on it just because that's what I can do. So y'all just remind me.
Sweet.
Hell yeah.
And
go ahead.
I was going to say just every now and then I might have a question or two on how to use some of the stuff. So.
Well, I'm always around and happy to answer questions.
Awesome.
I was gonna say the ETH price is like stagnant pretty much, and I just wonder how much liquidity they lost by kicking miners off the network.
Well, I can tell you, it was like ETH miners were globally pulling in like over $2 billion. Like it was crazy. So like that's the market. That's the size of the market back then, when everyone was on ETH mining on 2 miners basically. And after that, GPU mining, I don't even think we'd be like, I'd have to check, but it's probably tens of millions, nowhere near $1 billion now. You're talking like extreme volume. It was so much volume, and isn't it funny that right as the merge happened, electricity prices around the world doubled. You know, you got it was an attack on GPU mining. I'm telling you, and like you know, all the pre-mined Ethereum and all the shadow investors behind it. Like
Kink had a good question in the
Yeah.
chat. He said, "Hey, what about bridging an asset from ETH to EVR for the first time?"
oh yeah,
I think that might be an interesting service that we can provide, where if you've already got an asset, you're over on ETH, and you're wanting to just migrate that over onto EVR, where you didn't originate from EVR. I think that might be an interesting service that we could provide. I'll look into that. Seems like something people would want. Really good question, King. Thanks.
Yeah, and like he just said, insulation from smart contract hacks. Yeah.
Yep, just keep it simple and move over to EVR, and then that way you don't take the massive risk of a smart contract kind of infinite attack vector.
Is there a video of you talking about how the bridge actually works from like a technical perspective?
There might be like some clips from previous live streams, but I haven't created a dedicated video explaining that. I suppose I'll do that, but I'm just kind of waiting for the actual core code to be ready, and then it probably is easier for people to follow if there's like a GUI and I'm kind of explaining, hey, here's how you bridge and here's how the bridge works.
Actually, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's a fairly unique bridge. It's a non-custodial bridge. I had reached out. Sorry, go ahead.
After the ETH, are we planning on bridging more chains as well? A big one that I've had a lot of people ask me for Evrmore specifically is like a base bridge to base over ETH.
So technically, that's what it is. It's the first one is base. Yeah.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah. Yep.
That's great news, dude. Wow.
Yeah. But to answer your question more broadly, yeah, the plan is to definitely implement this initially on base, ETH, and then elsewhere.
Solana.
Yeah, like wherever.
Yep. Tap into the big volume chains. Very cool.
Yeah.
I personally I'd love to be able to rescue like my thousands of NFTs off other chains. Hey, like I've kind of just written them off at this point. But yeah, I think what Kink was saying before, if you could, I can't even think how you would do that, but that's honestly, yeah, that is a really good idea. I don't have many NFTs on Solana, but you know, Polygon as well is another one. ETH, yeah.
What about people wanting to rescue their assets from Ravencoin?
Yeah, Ravencoin. I would move them. I would.
You could build a bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, because they weren't copied over in the airdrop, right? So like, if anyone has them, they're over there and they're stuck. I mean, they could remake them right now, but
hey, maybe it's free.
original-
Maybe if you're wanting to move from Raven to EVR, the bridge is free.
It's an olive
green. Do it. Yeah.
But if you're wanting to go the other way, it's $1,000.
Hard but fair, you know.
That's mighty nice of you.
Mm-hmm. No,
would you have to worry
like
about name clashing in that kind of case? Say you did that. Wasn't there, what was the one that started on EVR and then it moved? Jackdaw, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
Wouldn't you have to worry about name clashes with all the other chains, not just Raven and EVR?
Yeah, so the way that you would do it, just off the top of my head, is the bridge itself would create like a main asset, and then it could create like sub assets. So it'd be like burn bridge, and then anybody can claim a namespace on the sub asset level or something.
Yeah, like a hidden prefix, more or less, right?
Yeah, like a hidden
wouldn't be hard.
prefix, like yeah, whatever, just like some simple prefix or something that's
Are you talking
easy.
about sending from ETH to Ever for the first time?
Yeah, or from like Raven or any other chain to EVR for the first time.
Couldn't you just specify the main asset name that you want to use, and then the burn bridge creates the main asset?
Yeah,
And
it totally could, but
and
we're
then it-
talking about the case where the main name is taken already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
And I'm like, oh, well,
That
what you
makes
could
sense.
do is you could just have like some type of prefix, or it's like burn bridge, and then you build it on the sub level or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's definitely
A
feasible.
lot of good. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. Well, that's an hour and 45 minutes, guys. Getting tired. I think I'm going to call it a night on the live stream. But thanks again for joining and having another successful week of updates and conversation and onwards and upwards. I look forward to chatting with everybody next week. And I'm sure I'll put out some tweets and some things in the meantime. So keep an eye out and chat next week.
Lovely work, mate.
Sounds good.
GG.
Thank
Thank you.
See ya.
Have a good
All right.
weekend, guys.